思ってます。
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's guest speaker, Mr. Kazuo Shi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Foreign Correspondent Club of Japan. We are continuing our guests that are involved in the political elections here in Japan. He's a politician who has been accepting our invitation for many, many years. Mr. Shi from the Communist Party of Japan, which I'm sure you know is one of the very few Genki Communist Party in the world. Even the Italian Communist Party, who used to be a very, very strong one, is now almost disappeared. So it would be very interesting in learning from Shi-san how it's possible to survive in a very capitalist country and increasing votes, because actually the Communist Party is increasing votes. And my personal opinion is that it will increase even in the next elections. But nevertheless, they won't get even close to power. So maybe there is also something wrong in this party. So we don't have much time because he's very busy, as you may imagine, during the campaign. We have to close this at 2:30, I'm told. And one of the proof, the evidence that Mr. Shi is really a fighter, he just told me that he prefers to speak just a very short introduction, and then he will just answer your questions, which is something that I'm sure we will appreciate as journalists, because sometimes politicians, when they make their speeches, are quite boring. Okay, so shall we start?
Okay.
So about 10 minutes, and then we go to questions.
皆さん、こんにちは。日本共産党の志位和夫です。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kazuo Shi from the Japanese Communist Party.
今日はお招きいただきまして光栄です。
It's a great honor to be invited here today.
冒頭10分ほどいただいて、今度の総選挙に臨む日本共産党の基本姿勢について簡単にお話ししたいと思います。
I would like to spend at the outset about 10 minutes talking about the Japanese Communist Party's basic approach policy in this general election.
今度の総選挙の最大の焦点はどこにあるか。
Now, where is the biggest focus in this general election?
公示の日に私は、NHK のインタビューを受けまして、今度の選挙をネーミングをつけてほしいというふうに言われました。
Well, as a matter of fact, on the day when the elections officially kicked off, NHK interviewed me, and I was asked to give a name to this general election.
私は、さよなら安倍政治選挙と書きました。
And I wrote, Goodbye, Abe government politics.
この5年間、こんなに憲法を粗末に扱った政権はありません。
I don't think that there has been any administration in the history of Japan which has disregarded the Japanese constitution to this extent.
沖縄に対しても、あるいは原発の問題でも、こんなに民意を踏みつけにしてきた政権もありません。
And also, I have never seen an administration which has really ignored the public's will, be it the issues of Okinawa or the nuclear powers.
そして森友加計疑惑、こんな異常な国政私物化疑惑にまみれた政権もかつてありません。
And also, I have never seen any administration in the past which has used its authority for personal purposes, as we see in the case of Moritomo and Kake incidents.
この政権をですね、市民と野党の共闘の勝利、そして日本共産党の躍進で倒して、新しい政治、新しい日本を作る選挙にしていきたい。これは私たちのメインの訴えです。
So the main appeal for our party is that we want to combine the forces of the opposition camps and under also the power of the Japanese Communist Party. We want to bring about new politics to Japan. We want to create a new Japan.
それでは安倍政権を倒した後にどういう日本を作るのか、日本共産党は5つのビジョンを明らかにしています。
And what will happen in the post-Abe period? We have set out 5 policies.
第一は外交です。
And one is in regards to foreign policy.
どんな問題も軍事ではなくて平和外交の力で解決する日本を作っていきたい。
We want to create a Japan where no matter what the issue may be, military force will not be used, but instead peaceful diplomatic measures will be taken to resolve the issue.
現下の北朝鮮問題も経済制裁の強化と一体に対話による平和的解決に力を尽くす。これこそ唯一の解決策です。
And regarding North Korea today, I think the only solution to what we see today is, on the one hand, to increase economic sanctions against North Korea, but at the same time, to try to pursue dialogue and seek for peaceful resolution and make every effort to make this happen.
第二は経済の改革です。
And the second is economic reform.
私たちのスローガンは、1% の富裕層や大企業のための政治でなく、99% の国民のための政治をというものです。
And here our slogan is politics not for the sake of the 1% rich, but instead for the 99% of the Japanese people.
この立場から、税制、予算、雇用、そして地域経済を大企業本位から国民の暮らし応援に切り替える具体策を提唱しています。
And for that, we are taking the position that be it the tax system or budget, employment, or local economies, we believe that politics should stand not on the side of the big companies, but instead to focus on the livelihood of the Japanese people.
第3は原発の問題です。
And the third issue is the nuclear power plants.
この問題の一番の試金石は再稼働を認めるかどうかにあります。
And I think the biggest test here would be whether or not the government will go ahead with the restart of the nuclear power stations.
私たちは再稼働に反対し、原発ゼロの日本を直ちに作る、そして再生可能エネルギー先進国にしていくというビジョンを明らかにしています。
And in this regard, our party has set out the vision that, on the one hand, we want to see that the nuclear power stations be reduced to zero as soon as possible, and we do not admit any restart of operations of nuclear power stations. And at the same time, we want to become a Japan where we lead the industrialized economies in terms of renewable energy.
第4は、憲法9条を守り、9条を生かした日本を作る。とりわけ今、安倍首相の下で進められている9条改憲に強く反対するということです。
And the fourth is in regards to the Constitution. To be more specific, Article 9. We want to defend Article 9 and try to leverage on Article 9 here in Japan and put a stop to the Abe administration's attempt to try to revise Article 9 of the Constitution.
そして最後に第5番目に私たちが訴えているのは、核兵器禁止条約、これが国連で採択されました。この核兵器禁止条約にサインする政府を作ろうという訴えです。
And the last appeal that our party is making is to make Japan a government in which it signs the UN treaty prohibiting nuclear weapons. The United States has adopted the nuclear weapons ban treaty, and we want to see the Japanese government sign it.
以上5つの改革のプランを私たち提示しておりますが、これを進める力は市民と野党の共闘です。
And these are the 5 reform plans that we have put in place, but the force that is needed to make headway with these reforms is the combination of ourselves plus the citizens.
この2年間、私たちは共闘によって日本を変えるという新しい道に踏み込んできました。
And over the past 2 years, we have been taking this approach where we try to fight together with the citizens.
それは確かな成果を上げていると思います。
And we are producing tangible results.
昨年の参議院選挙では、全国32の一人区のすべてで野党統一候補を実現し、11で勝利しました。
And we were able to, at last year's upper house election, win the 32 candidates which were running in the single-seat constituency from the opposition camp were able to win, and the Japanese Communist Party were able to win in 11 constituencies.
続く新潟県知事選挙では勝利を勝ち取りました。
And also in the following Niigata gubernatorial election, we were able to win.
今年の仙台市長選挙でも勝利しました。
And also in the Sendai mayoral election this year, we were able to win.
市民と野党が一つに力を合わせれば、自民党を倒せるというのは証明済みのことになっていると思います。
And I think that this is proof that if the citizens combine forces with the opposition, we can beat the LDP.
今度の総選挙でも、この流れをさらに発展させようと、私たちは準備を重ねてきました。
And we have been preparing for this election so that we can further expand this trend.
ただ困難も起こりました。
But there were challenges as well.
民進党が突然、希望の党への合流を決めました。
For example, the Democratic Party of Japan suddenly decided to merge with the new party Hope.
私はこのニュースを聞いたとき、大変な逆流が持ち込まれたと実感しました。
And I felt when I heard this news that this was a very powerful wind against our party.
しかし私たちは共闘を諦めませんでした。
But we did not give up this idea of fighting together.
この2年間積み重ねてきた共闘の絆は全国至るところに広がっています。
Because over the past 2 years, we have been trying to join forces, and this bond that ties us has become stronger over the past 2 years.
それは一時の逆流でなくなるものではありません。
And this will not be stopped due to this one-time event.
その時私はこういう声明を出しました。
And at that time, I tried to think this way.
こういう厳しい条件の下でも共闘の道に進もうという勢力が現れたら、私たちは手を結ぶと。
And that was to say that even in such tough times, if there were others who were willing to join hands with our party, we would fight together with them.
その後、立憲民主党が結成されました。
And after that, the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan was established.
私たちはこの流れを歓迎し、今は私たちとしては日本共産党、立憲民主党、そして社会民主党3党と市民の皆さんが協力して選挙を戦っております。
And we welcome this move. And currently, our Japanese Communist Party, as well as the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, CDPJ, and the Social Democratic Party, plus the citizens are fighting together.
全区289の小選挙区のうち249で3党としては 候補者を一本化することができました。
And out of the 289 single-seat constituencies, our three parties were able to come up with a single candidate in 249 of those constituencies.
一本化したからには最大の勝利を目指したいと思います。
And now that we have decided on one single candidate, we will do everything to win these constituencies.
そして何よりも比例代表で私たち日本共産党がこの1週間力を尽くして必ず躍進を果たしたいと決意しております。
And also, in the proportional representation, we, the Japanese Communist Party, have been working very hard over the past week to do everything within our means to increase our seats under the proportional representation.
共産党が躍進することが、共闘を進める一番確かな力になるということを今訴えて戦っているところです。
And we are currently appealing that the increase in seats for the Japanese Communist Party is the sure way of ensuring that our joint efforts will bear fruit.
ちょうど10分になりましたので、これで終わりにして、あとはご質問にお答えしたいと思います。あり
I
がとうご
think
ざいま
I've
した。
just used up 10 minutes, so I would now like to stop here and take questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shi-san. I see the first here. Please state your name and affiliation if you have one. Thank you.
Jake Adelstein, Forbes, and the Daily Beast. One thing that distinguishes the Communist Party from the Liberal Democratic Party is, I think, your labor policies. How would you propose to solve Japan's death by overwork problem, the karoshi seisaku wa? What kind of idea do you have in mind for dealing with that?
フォーブスものでございますけれども、日本共産党と自民党の一つ、大きな違い、といえばそれは、労働政策ではないかというふうに思います。とりわけ過労死の問題があるかと思いますけれども、日本共産党の過労死に対する政策というのはどういうものでしょう。
私たちは日本の過労死がなぜ生まれるか、その最大の原因は、残業時間の法的性がないというところにあると考えています。
And first of all, the biggest reason why we think that we are seeing this problem of karoshi occurring here in Japan is because there is no legal restriction on when it comes to overtime work.
労使で合意すれば、どんなに残業時間を長くしてもいいというのが現行法制なんです。
Because the current law says that no matter how long the overtime work may be, as long as the labor management agree upon the length of overtime, and that can take place.
私たちは法律でこれを厳しく規制することを提案しております。
And we are proposing that instead we should strictly regulate the length of overtime hours.
すなわち残業は週15時間、月45時間、年360時間までということを法定する。
In other words, we are proposing that overtime work should be limited to 15 hours per week, 45 hours per month, and 360 hours per year.
自民党はこの肝心な点を全く曖昧にしようとしています。
But the LDP is trying to make ambiguous this very important issue.
何よりも残業代ゼロ法案、いくら働いても残業代を出さなくてもいい法案に固執しています。
And they're insisting on this bill, legislation, which says that no matter how long the workers work overtime, they will not be paid for their overtime work.
労働時間規制も言い出しましたけれども、月の残業時間を80時間から100時間と、政府自身が過労死水準と言っているものを超えて残業を認めるようなもので、とてもこれでは規制になりません。
And they have proposed putting regulations on the working hours for overtime, but the hours that they have proposed were outrageous. They were proposing between 80 to 100 hours per month. This in itself exceeds the standard for preventing karoshi.
私たちはもう日本の社会から過労死と言われる事態を根絶するというために奮闘したいと思っています。
And we want to strive to try to eradicate this karoshi problem here in the Japanese society.
Yes.
Robin Harding from the Financial Times. You talked about this being a sayonara Abe election, but we know the reality is he's on course for a landslide victory. And a big reason for that is Japan has a divided opposition. Isn't the biggest reason Japan has a divided opposition that the Communist Party regularly takes 10%, but is completely unacceptable to the other 90% of the Japanese population? So in reality, are you not Mr. Abe's greatest ally and helper in Japanese politics?
はい、すみます。私、フィナンシャル・タイムズ、ロバート・ハーディングでございますけれども、先ほど政策としてさよなら安倍政権ということをおっしゃったんですけれども、残念ながら、今回の選挙を見ておりますと、安倍政権、自民党は圧勝に向かっているのではなかろうかというふうに思われております。その最大の理由は何かというと、やはりその野党の足並みが揃っていない、そういった結果、共産党も、国民の 10% の支持を得られとしても残り 90% の支持は得られておりません。むしろ政権を取るどころか、逆に自民党が政権を取る上での最大の同盟、友人になってしまっているのではなかろうかと思うんですが、この点はいかがでしょう。
今の世論調査で与党圧勝と出ておりますが、私は打ち破れると思っています。
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, and though the polls currently do say that the ruling coalition is likely to enjoy a landslide victory, we think that we can break that.
同じ世論調査で安倍内閣の支持率は続落しています。
Because if you look at the same polls, the approval rating of the Abe administration continues to fall.
今日の毎日新聞の調査で安倍政権に続けてほしいかという質問がありました。
And in today's Mainichi Shimbun newspaper survey, there was a question of whether the people would like to see the Abe administration continue on.
続けてほしいが 37%、欲しくないが 47% と、国民の多数は安倍政権の退陣を望んでいます。
And the answers were 37% said that they wanted Abe to stay on, whereas 47% said no to Mr. Abe. So it does prove that many of the Japanese people want him to step down.
私たちはこういう世論を受けて、安倍政権を倒すためには、野党勢力が一本にまとまるということが必要だということをずっと訴えてきました。
And we have continued to appeal, looking at such opinions, public opinions, that the opposition camp needs to join forces so as to knock down and oust the Abe administration.
これに突然の逆流を持ち込んだのが希望の党なんです。
But there was this counter trend that was the new party Hope's emergence.
この党の本質というのは、安保法制を容認する。あるいは憲法を改定する、あるいは原発の再稼働を容認する、自民党と変わりがありません。
And because if you look at the policy of the Hope, the new party Hope, in essence, what they're saying is that they uphold and support the peace and security legislation, they support the idea of amending the Constitution, and they support the restart of the nuclear power plants. They're no different from the LDP.
私は希望の党の小池代表にどこが違うんですかと党首討論で聞いたことがあります。
At one time, I did ask Ms. Koike, the leader of the party, what's different about her party versus the LDP?
彼女の答えはあまり違いがないと。強いて言えば受動喫煙の問題ですという話でした。
And her answer was, no, there isn't that much of a difference. Well, if I have to give a difference, it might be the policy towards passive smoking.
ですからこの党は私たちは自民党の補完勢力だというふうに考えています。
So we think that the party Hope is just a complementary party to the LDP.
よくメディアなどは今度の選挙の構図を三極対決というふうに描きます。
Well, the media tends to report that this general election is an election where three camps are fighting against each other.
私は違うと言っております。
But I am saying no to that sort of observation.
二極対決だと。
Instead, I'm saying that there are only two camps.
すなわち自民公明とその補完勢力である、希望維新 VS、市民と野党の共闘と この対決構図だと思っています。
My thinking is that on the one hand, there is the LDP and the Komeito plus as a support and complementary party, Hope and Nippon Ishin, versus the citizens and the opposition camp, which are joining forces.
世論調査を見ますと、希望の党が急速に支持を失って、大失速をしているというのが現状だと思います。
And if you look at the polls these days, you can see that Hope is losing support, and their likelihood of winning is declining.
あと1週間、日に日にですね、本当の対決の構図は2極だと、2極対決だということが明らかになってくる、そういう中で情勢が大きく変わりうると思っております。でぜひ野党連合が勝利すること、そしてその中で日本共産党自身が躍進すること、これをあと1週間の頑張りでやり抜きたいと思っています。
Yes, and we have 1 week to go, but day after day, I think it's becoming more and more clear that it is really a fight between these two camps and not three. And therefore, we think that the situation could change. The opposition camp will continue to work hard, as well as the JCP. And we think that during this 1 week, we can make a change and win more than expected.
Can I just ask you to clarify one point? I may be wrong, but last time I spoke with Koike-san, she told me that she was against the nuclear power. You mentioned that she's now in Saikaido?
すみません、ちょっと確認事項なんですが、前回私が小池さんとお話ししたときには、原発再稼働には反対しているということをおっしゃったんですけれども、賛成なんでしょうか。
反対してっておっしゃったんですか。
そうですよ。
ほう、それはびっくりしました。彼女ははっきりと新規制基準に適合した原発の再稼働は容認するということを表明しています。
Well, if she said that she's opposed, I'm surprised because actually she is stating very clearly that provided that the nuclear power plant does comply with the new safety standards, she is supportive of the nuclear power plants being restarted.
それは報道されております。
Okay, so
And this has been reported.
whether I'm wrong or whether she changed the idea.
じゃあ私が間違っているのか、彼女が途中で気が変わったのか、どちらかだと思います。
少なくとも私は彼女の前で、あなたは再稼働を容認してますねと言ったけれども、彼女は否定しませんでした。
At least in front of her, I did say that you are approving the restart of the nuclear power plants, and she did not deny that.
しかも党首討論で何回も。
We've met each other a number of times in the party leaders' debate.
We may have to check this when the Kibo no To will come here. Yeah? That will be the first question.
聞いてみてください。
Yes,
Anthony.
please do ask.
Oh, okay.
シンガポールプラスホールディング日本特派員のふと申します。私は知りたいのは今の雨の日が続けて1週間でするといわゆる時効の方が有利ですか、または
雨ですか。
雨です。それどっち、経験から言うとですね、はい。で、本当に自民党はあんまりFCCJ には来ないんですよ。いわゆる外交に関してあまり関心がないかなとたまに私たち会員が思います。で、先ほど一番大事な外交と言ってました。安倍首相も積極的な外交とおっしゃいましたよね。こういう言い方っていうのは日本国民はどういうふうに理解しているかちょっと知りたいですね。
Well, as a matter of fact, we are seeing rain today, and if this rain should continue for another week, what do rainy days, election days, have an impact? What kind of impact does the weather have on the result of the election? Will the rain work to the advantage of the ruling LDP and Komeito or not? As a matter of fact, I'd like to hear your experience about that. And as a matter of fact, the LDP rarely comes to the FCCJ. And I'm thinking that they might not be interested in foreign affairs or diplomacy. But you mentioned that diplomacy, foreign policy is most important. And Mr. Abe is also saying proactive diplomacy. But what do you think the Japanese people think about that?
いろんな受け止め方があると思います。
I think there are different reactions.
ただ2つの事実に目を向けていただきたいと思います。
But I want the Japanese people to look up to two facts.
一つは核兵器禁止条約に日本政府が背を向けているという事実です。
And one is the fact that the Japanese government is not signing the nuclear weapons ban treaty.
唯一の戦争被爆国の政府であるにもかかわらず、この態度はあまりに情けないのではないかという強い批判が被爆者の皆さんから寄せられています。
And the Hibakshas are really deploring this situation, saying that of all things, Japan, which is the only country on the world which has experienced atomic bombing, the government of that country is not signing is something that is totally unacceptable.
アメリカの顔色を伺い、この歴史的な条約へのサインを拒むというアメリカ言いなりの姿勢がここに表れています。
And so you can see that the Japanese government is constantly looking at the United States, looking at how they might react. And as a result, they have failed and they're resisting to sign this historic treaty.
もう一つは沖縄です。
And the other issue is Okinawa.
沖縄では県民の皆さんが選挙で何度も辺野古の新基地は認めないという審判を下しています。
And the Okinawa people have a number of times through their elections have expressed their position that they are opposed to the Henoko base.
これが民主主義の国で許されるのかということが強く問われると思います。
And I think there is this big question of whether such a thing is acceptable in this democracy.
先日は米軍のヘリが民有地に墜落するという事故も起こりました。
And just the other day, a U.S. military helicopter crashed into a privately owned piece of land.
沖縄県の尾長知事は、沖縄県民にとってはまさにこれこそ国難だというふうに強く糾弾しました。
And the Okinawa governor strongly condemned this, saying that this is the national crisis.
まさにですね、アメリカ言いなりの姿勢をとって県民を踏みつけにする、ここにも大きな問題が現れています。
And you can see here that Japan is a yes man to the United States and bringing such sufferings to the people of Okinawa.
安倍政権のやっている外交というのは、そこには自主的な外交のかけらもありません。
If you look at Abe's diplomacy, there isn't any aspect of voluntary diplomacy.
軍事を優先する、そして米国を優先する、こういう姿があるだけです。
You can just see that he is giving priority to military as well as the United States.
ぜひここでは大きな転換が必要だと私たちは訴えています。
And we are appealing that we have to bring about a major change.
Anthony Rowley, Singapore Business Times. It seems likely, I think, that Mr. Abe will cement his political base in Japan as a result of this election. And at the same time, Xi Jinping, the president of China, is going to cement his political base in China. So what do you think this means for the future of Japan-China relations?
はい、アンソニーでございますけれども、おそらく今回の選挙で安倍政権、さらに盤石な基盤を築くのではなかろうかというふうに思われております。合わせて中国においても、党大会で習近平主席が自らの地位を盤石なものにするということが予想されております。このことが今後の日中関係においてどういった影響をもたらすというふうに考えていらっしゃいますでしょうか。
日中関係を考えた場合、いろいろと、複雑な問題が絡み合っています。
Well, when we think about the Japan-China relations, there are a number of complicated issues here.
私たちは今の中国の対外政策に新しい覇権主義、大国主義の動きが起こってきていることを率直に指摘もし、批判もしています。
And we have clearly pointed out and also criticized that looking at the current foreign policy of China, we see that there is a clear new hegemony as well as this intention of becoming a major power.
それはこれまでは核兵器廃絶に積極的な役割を果たしていたにもかかわらず、この態度を変えたこと、 あるいは東シナ海、南シナ海での振る舞い等々に現れています。
And I think this is reflected in the fact that originally China was insisting on the abolition of nuclear weapons, but now they have changed their attitude. And also, if you look at their behavior in both the East China Sea as well as South China Sea, this is apparent.
私たちは日本共産党の先日の党大会で、中国共産党のこうした振る舞いについて、公然と批判をし、その内容については中国共産党に直接伝達するという措置も取りました。
As a matter of fact, our JCP at our party convention have clearly, publicly criticized the Chinese Communist Party and directly communicated this to the Chinese Communist Party.
ただ、これらの問題はどれも外交的、平和的な解決が図られるべき問題です。
But all these issues are issues which call for diplomatic as well as peaceful resolutions.
中国が力で海洋進出をしようとしてくるのに対して、日本が、あるいは日米が軍事で対応するということになれば、この地域の軍事対軍事の悪循環を招き、危険なことになります。そういうことはすべきでないと考えております。
And so, on the one hand, we see that China, through its means military, are trying to be very assertive in the East China Sea, South China Sea. And meanwhile, if Japan and the United States were to try to counter this militarily, then it will be a confrontation, military confrontation between the two. And this will make the situation even worse. And we will see ourselves in a vicious cycle. This will be extremely dangerous, and we have to put a stop to that.
いかに紛争問題を外交的な英知によって解決するか、これが求められていると思います。
So what is wanted is for us to think about how we can wisely try to solve this issue through diplomacy.
日本経済新聞の滝田と申します。消費税と財源のお話をお伺いしたいと思います。志位さんの共産党は2019年に予定されている消費税の再増税に反対というふうに理解しております。再増税による税収は年間5兆円と言われておりますけれども、再増税しなかった場合にその歳入欠陥はどうやって埋めるおつもりなのかということをお伺いしたいと思います。関連して、仮に法人税の増税という対応をされる場合に、どのくらいの規模の法人税の増税を考えていらっしゃるのか、および日本の企業の空洞化が促進されるかどうかという点についてもお伺いしたいと思います。以上であります。
I'm Takta from Nihon Keizai Shimbun newspaper. And first of all, about the consumption tax and the tax revenue and fiscal sources. Well, Mr. Shi at the JCP, I understand, is opposed to the consumption tax increase in 2019. But if the tax hike were to be implemented, it will result in a 5 trillion yen tax revenue. And if not, this revenue will be lost. If you are opposed, then how will you try to fill in, compensate for this shortfall in the tax revenue is the first question. And supposing that you're instead thinking of increasing the corporate tax, then how much of an increase are you thinking of? And also, do you not think that this will lead to further hollowing out of the industries in Japan?
私たちは消費税に頼らない財源政策についてまとまった提案を出しております。
Well, we have submitted policies which talk about fiscal revenue that does not rely on consumption tax.
その中でも当面の、5兆円の穴をどうやって埋めるかということについて言いますと、2つの点を強調しております。
Now, to respond to your question as to how to fill in for this shortfall of 5 trillion yen, we have set out two policies.
一つは株取引にかかる税が日本の場合 20% で大変低い。
And first, currently, the taxes imposed on the transaction of stocks, equity, is as low as 20%.
そのために所得1億円超えますと、富裕層になればなるほど 税の負担率が下がってしまうという逆転現象が生まれております。
And as a result, if you have an income which is more than 100 million yen, to the contrary, you will be benefiting from and becoming richer as a result of this tax system.
この歪みを正せば大体1兆円のお金が出てくると見込んでおります。
And if we were able to correct this distortion, this will lead to revenue of about 1 trillion yen.
もう一つは大企業しかもっぱら使えない、例えば研究開発減税などの大企業優遇税制があります。
And also, there are those incentives purely for the big companies. For example, the tax incentive for R&D at the big corporations.
そのために法人税の実質負担率は、中小企業が 19% であるのに対して大企業は 12% という数字が出てまいります。
And as a result, the real burden of the corporations for the small and medium enterprises, it's 19%, 19, whereas for the big corporations, it's only 12%.
私たちはせめて大企業に中小企業並みの負担をしてもらう、そういう税制改革を提案しております。
And therefore, we are proposing this tax reform, which says at least the big corporations should be bearing the same amount of percentage as the small and medium enterprises.
これで大体4兆円出てまいります。
And this will result in a tax revenue of 4 trillion yen.
この2つの税の歪みを垂らしただけで、まず5兆円出てまいります。
And so by correcting these two distortions in the tax system, this will generate 5 trillion yen.
空洞化というご心配もあろうかと思います。
And you may have the concern over the hollowing out of the Japanese industries.
しかし、私たちは中小企業と同じ税負担率をと言っているに過ぎません。
But all we're asking for is that the big corporations bear the same amount of taxes as the small and medium enterprises.
それもう一点言いますと、これは経済産業省の調査ですが、企業が投資をするポイントを何によって判断するかという企業アンケート調査があります。
Well, this is something that METI has reported, but they have questioned how companies decide to invest where.
そのダントツ1位にあるのは需要です。
And the overwhelmingly number one reason for deciding to invest in a certain location is the demand.
需要のあるところに企業は出ていく。
So companies will go to places where the demand exists.
法人税を上げたのはごく少ない数しかありません。
And there are only a few cases in which the corporate tax have been increased.
逆に言えば日本に需要がないために海外に出ていく。これが現実です。
And the reality is the reason why the Japanese companies are moving overseas is because there isn't much demand here in Japan.
消費を奪い需要を奪う消費税増税はいよいよこの悪循環を加速することになると私は考えております。
And I believe that if we were to further increase the consumption tax, this would undermine consumption, and also reduce the demand, and this will further aggravate the situation.
We are really close to the running time, so one more question, okay? The president of the club. So make an
あと1分です。
1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Khaldun Ansari, Panoramic News. Prime Minister Abe made clear that one of his election issues is the situation with North Korea and the need for Japan to be able to defend itself and face the Korean threat. So do you think if North Korea fired a missile one day for the election, that will make the Japanese people vote for the government of Abe because they feel it's more secure for them to vote for the government? And do you think that North Korea can play a role in the result of the Japanese elections now? Thank you.
はい、それます。安倍総理は今回の選挙の公約の中で北朝鮮問題を歌っていらっしゃいます。で、自らを守るため、防衛するために自民党が立ち上がるべきであるというようなことをおっしゃっています。で、もし北朝鮮が選挙の当日の1日前にミサイルを発射したならば、国民はやはり自民党の方が安心であるということで自民党に投票することにならないのでしょうか。北朝鮮はこの選挙結果に何らかの役割を果たすようなことは考えられないでしょうか。
難しい質問です。
Difficult question.
私たちはこれ以上の軍事的挑発は絶対にやめることを強く北に求めます。
We were demanding North Korea that they stop any further military provocation.
そして私たちはこの問題でも先ほどお話しいたしましたが、米朝の直接対話によって危機を打開する、そして対話によって核問題を解決する、この道しかないということを一貫して述べております。ですから、そういうことが仮に起こったとしても、私たちは断固としてその主張を続けるでしょう。
Well, we have been continuing to assert that this issue needs to be dealt with through the direct dialogue between North Korea and the United States. That is the only way to overcome this crisis. And we have been saying that this is the only way that we can resolve this nuclear threat coming from the North, and we have been consistent about this. So even if something as you've described were to occur, we will not change our position.
Okay, Mr. Shi, I'll let you go, but before you go, you still play piano, right? So do you have one particular song that you would like to dedicate to Mr. Abe and Mrs. Koike? Because I understand you consider them at the same level. So if they would be here, what kind of song would you play?
この上なく難しい質問が来ました。
Extremely difficult.
No, no. Just one, for both.
2人ですよ。2
人に
向けて。
そうですね。蛍の光。
蛍の光、you know?
Thank you very much.
どうも。
This is a membership for the club.
これが会
Whenever
計で
you
ございま
want
す。
to relax and have just a drink,
たまにはリ
you
ラッ
can
クスし
come.
て飲んでいただければと思います。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Please wait a moment because I am told that I have to read this official statement. I forgot to read it at the beginning, sorry. The Foreign Correspondent Club of Japan has invited the leaders of all political parties that meet the legal conditions of bona fide political party under Japan Public Officers Election Law. While FCCJ wishes to give all party leaders the opportunity to speak at the club before the lower house election, please understand that there may be cases where some cannot make it because of schedule conflicts or other reasons. In other words, if they don't come, it's because they don't want to come. Also, please be aware that regardless of whether you are a journalist or not, if you are going to publish a report or video from today's event and put it up on the internet, including